Hello, and welcome to the RuCap, hosted by me, Alex Ringler, here with the Drag Queen Database. Let's go around, say who you are, where you're calling in from, and, I don't know, what you had for dinner last night. Russ!
Hi, I'm Russ White, co-founder, co-producer of QLife Media, and co-founder of the Drag Queen Database. I am calling in from Las Vegas, Nevada, and last night I had beef tips and brown rice with quinoa.
Ooh, come on, beef tips. And who is that lovely creature I see there? Aaliyah, hello.
Hello, my name is Leah Sky. I am a fashion designer and drag queen superstar extraordinaire. And I'm calling in from Los Angeles, California. And last night for dinner, what did I had? I had a lightly seasoned grilled chicken breast, steamed broccoli, and quinoa rice.
Oh.
And, God.
Is that a Christopher over there that I see?
I think it is out in the wild. Hi, I'm Christopher Henry, and my cysts just popped all over this chair.
So gross. We'll get into it.
I am an actor, singer, comic, all-around shenanigans promoter. I live in Plymouth, Massachusetts. If you don't know where that is, good. And what I had for dinner last night, God, I was working a late shift, so I didn't fill up I just had some Greek yogurt when I got home. And if you think that's code, you're right.
That's gross. That was gross as the cyst. Garrett, what's going on?
Awesome.
What's up, everyone? My name is Garrett. I am calling in from the fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Last night for dinner, I actually bounced around to 3 different Drag Race viewing parties here in Las Vegas to different bars, and I wound up eating pizza and a wrap from the Garage. It's a gay bar here in town that actually has a Drag Race kind of car theme to it.
Well, that's fun. I miss pizza. And last but not least. Yeah, that's you.
Greetings, everyone. It's the dreaded and feared Walter Kurtz coming to you from the world's most important and most celebrated metropolis, New York City. I'm here in Donkeymere, but in a different room where there is a chandelier, but it's not behind me. And I had for dinner last night salmon and rice at a really nice French restaurant on the Upper East Side with some old friends.
Oh, you healthy eaters. Look at all you guys.
If there's any doubt for the viewers at home that we're all gay men, this all just cinched it right here.
Yeah, except for the rice. It's too many carbs, you guys. Okay, so we're here season 11, and the crowd goes mild. I don't know. I'm not feeling the season quite yet, but there's a lot of seasons to come. I will say probably Sugar was one of my tops for now, as well as Honey Davenport, because New York. But do we have a first look that we really liked? Do we have someone we're really rooting for right now? Let's start with Chris.
Oh gosh. So for like the entrances, I mean, Vanjie was great. I loved. Alex knows that this is like a personal thing for me. Mercedes' entrance into the room doing that like pseudo Xena yell thing. I mean, that just kind of got my heart a little bit. So I was like, all right, you're cute.
Listen, back to it. It's actually like looped over a couple times. I think she only did it like once, like a really short one, and they just looped it.
How dare you take this from me? What is wrong?
I'm not taking it. She did it. It's just she didn't do it as long as she should have, is what I'm saying.
Next thing you're going to tell me there's no Santa, and Cher never had her ribs removed. Just like let my
Cher is Santa. You didn't know that? Cher is Santa.
Yeah. Well, they're both one and the same. I mean, Santa's less hairy than Cher. But yeah, and I'm really feeling, I mean, throughout the episode, I'm feeling Brooklyn Heights a lot too.
Yeah.
So I like her. I do love Honey because I've met Honey a bunch of times, and Honey's great. But yeah, those are my 3 for starters right now.
Aaliyah, did you have any favorite opening looks as our fashionista?
Favorite? I loved Miss Nina West. Come on, hat.
Come on, hat.
I thought Brooklyn Heights entrance was very reminiscent of like Katya coming in as like the Russian doll. So I thought that was like hella cute to kind of come in and represent where you're from. And you know, the one person I actually did not care for was what is her name? Scarlet Envy. Girl, her look really seemed like it was missing something. I don't know. As a drag queen, I felt slightly uneasy about hers.
I can agree with that. I liked her silhouette and how like skinny she was making herself and shit like that. But it looked like a shake and go wig. I felt like she could have done a little bit more.
She still looked a little boyish.
Well, yeah, well that jaw, honey. I've had to deal with that when I have to do drag, and it's not fun. Like trying to cover that up, it's not cute. Russ, did you have a good opening look that you were in favor of?
You know, I was busy launching Drag Queen Database, so there's my blatant pug. So I was paying attention mostly to that until the end of the show. So and one thing I was talking to Garrett this morning about how the challenge with the first episode is there's so many all at once that it's hard to keep track for me. And I'm wondering if that's part of your dissatisfaction with the first episode, Alex, is that there's just so much. I like Nina West. She's a little, gotta go for someone who's done 9 auditions. Aaliyah, what's your record?
Bro, we are currently on audition number 4. I've done it 4 times, I believe.
Get it?
Yeah.
So I think that
a lot, though.
Yeah, that's a long time. And then who was the one that got on she did it for 18 months and got on the first audition?
Was that Sugar?
No.
No, but Sugar had only been doing it for 18 months.
No, that was Plastique.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I don't have a favorite one yet, but I think that's just gonna evolve over the weeks. It's a lot for me to take in.
It is, especially like when you have that many queens and they're all doing like the challenge and the runway at the same time and that sort of thing. So Walter, do you have any like horses in this race so far, or something that just stood out to you so far?
Well, if you use my criteria that I've used over all the seasons, which is that you need to have a point of view.
Yes.
The only person who came out with a point of view was Evie Oddly.
Okay.
And frankly, I had to go watch the beginning of the episode again because I couldn't remember what anybody wore except for Evie. And it's also interesting. I read where Monet and Trinity were critiquing the entrance looks, and out of all of them, there were only like 3 that they even remotely liked. They didn't like really any of the. I thought the entrance looks were really kind of.
They were meh a little bit this year.
Yeah, and Soju's was absolutely the worst. I don't know what that was.
Oh God! Karate class.
Yeah, I get that you're doing your ethnic origins and all of that, but can it be interesting, please?
Or it's like there's a way to like make a karate gi into a gown that makes it not look just like a karate gi with a skirt. So
and then the hair was awful and just like woof.
Wax on, wax off, honey. No,
Can I say something though, as a drag queen and as a designer, as someone who has, even though I have and Garrett knows, and so does Russ, more crap and more drag than you can enough to fill a bedroom full of it.
And a storage unit.
I do have to say, at the same time, girl, I find myself mixing and matching things all the time. Not every look is going to land. I personally, even though I didn't understand Scarlett's, I still look at it as a drag queen and think to myself, damn, these girls have like a really nice wardrobe. It doesn't necessarily match the standards, I guess, of what you're used to as an audience to this particular show. But I still got to give them all props because just being able to have outfits that look as good as some of those did, like, that's very impressive in its own. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, the problem with Scarlett's was the breast cups were below her rib cage. It's like your tits aren't down there, honey.
Oh, her excluded. Because you're right, girl. I didn't understand it at all.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but to have outfits, yes, but to have outfits at the level that they should be for, number 1, RuPaul's Drag Race, number 2, your entrance look. Like, I think that was just like, I think Soju missed the mark there, just being like,
totally.
I get what she was going for, but I don't think it was done exactly well. Garrett, what did you think of the entrance looks?
Well, so if you get confused as to who's who, you can head over to dragqueen.info, which is the home of the Drag Queen database, and see all of the queens from the season all at once to kind of keep them keep track of them. But I really seemed drawn to, I just really thought Silky Nutmeg Ganache was really fun and pretty, and I liked more so than anything, the energy. I mean, looks are one thing, but I kind of am like, what energy did they give? I liked the energy. And then it turned into too much energy, but then I was like, I don't know. I really liked her at the beginning, but then it became a lot. But then
Made me miss Laganja. I was like,
so
yeah, to a power of 10.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, but she kind of called herself out right in the beginning, being like, "I'm here to get a cooking show. I'm here to get my own spin-off show." It's like, that's cool and everything, but if we know that's your motivation going in, then everything you do energy-wise, even the like attitude check business, is like, oh, you're trying to brand yourself right now, and so I feel like it's automatically going to be colored with that throughout the whole season. I'm not saying she did a bad job, and obviously she won the mini challenge, but now I just kind of like look at her like with a side eye, being like, "Oh, is this who you really are, or are you trying to brand right now?"
Well, even one of the queens clocked her when she was, running all over the place with Miley on her back. She's just doing it to get TV time.
Yeah,
and that wears thin really fast.
Which is why I thought, honestly, they were maybe setting her up this week to be in the bottom two, like when they were doing storytelling wise. And I was like, maybe she came in with too much, and then she has to get a little attitude check herself by being in the bottom two.
We need to have an Untucked first, where she feels very attacked. Then they'll say
she feels very attitude checked. Okay, getting to the photo shoot. I like that they bring the former queens back. I think that's fun. Was there a photo that you thought was best? I mean, it's kind of an easy mini challenge, but I thought it was great how they incorporated the other queens. I was really happy to see Raja back because we haven't seen her on Drag Race for a while. What did you think, Miss Aaliyah Sky?
I mean, I thought they were cute. I thought Portia not directing the shoot at all was a total miss. But I loved Vanessa Vanjie telling Miss Pheromone to turn around and face the corner, girl. Because
just face the wall.
If that's not like the definition of like, girl, let me just take over this photo shoot. You go over there. I know you're standing, so you can face the wall.
That's funny.
I thought it was great.
It was like just the right amount of shade too. It's like I know you're supposed to be in this picture, but why don't we just feature the wig? Like I thought that was very fun. Garrett, what did you think?
I thought that I felt like all of them were trying to be like super elegant in the photo shoot, and I was like, except for like the couple that didn't, and the ones that didn't, I thought that those were my favorite. Like the ones that were like being a drag queen. There's this drag book that's published, and it's just drag queens being in their element, maybe like smoking a cigarette or being more raw. I don't think it should always be like glam, like sitting on the couch sipping your cocktail. I like the ones that were a little more crazy. Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah. What was that?
I said, why are you looking at me, Garrett, when you say that?
I don't know, Blanche. Why?
I'm over here sitting on my couch, sipping my coffee, looking glamorous. I feel like that was a personal attack.
Listen, Aaliyah, I promise to never call you glamorous. I promise.
All right, girl. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay, so then we get to the challenge. So Silky wins. That's fun. I think she divvied up like she said. I think she divvied them up pretty evenly to kind of what each box goes with each girl.
Like exactly, it was weird.
Which is nice and everything. Do we think it was a smart move? Because it might have come out a different way if she was a little more strategic and was like, "Oh, you look nothing like this bitch. I'm gonna give you this box." Walter, do you think that was like on purpose, or was it just like let's just get this done and move on with the challenge?
I don't think she's that bright enough to have really done something evil.
Strategic.
Yeah, strategic. Not that she's stupid. That's why I paused before I said that. She doesn't strike me as the type that has that level of critical thought. Just sort of like, oh, this one would be fun and that one would be fun.
She said, if somebody's going to lose, I want them to lose on their own merit. I don't want to sabotage this early in the game. I want somebody to like, whoever's in the bottom needs to be in the bottom on their own. Fair enough.
That's true. Yeah. And so like, and I understand that. And I think it's a kind of a noble way to go about it. I don't know if she'll keep that if she keeps on being in the, if she keeps on being on the show, which, I'm sorry, Garrett, you're right just about the whole, like, Silky being too much throughout the episode. I was like, eventually I was just like, I just want to put my foot through the TV right now, like, and get rid of her.
Maybe she'll calm down later, first day, first new people. Yeah.
But listen, we saw how well being calculating and everything turned out from Manila last season on All Stars, so maybe she's just trying to play a different kind of game. Maybe they're trying to switch it up, because it hasn't always worked out for the queens that have like gone around sabotaging everybody every single round. Some of them, it's come back to bite them in the ass. So
completely. Absolutely. So yeah, maybe you're right. And then so they put together their outfits as well as they can. Some of them. Was it Nina West who was like, so like, I do know how to sew, but sewing's not my thing. I was like, but like, I don't accept that excuse anymore. Like, especially from someone who's been in the business as long as she has, and to say that like I'm not the best sewer. It's like, if you're not the best something, there is a class out there for you. There is this over here. There's this tutorial online that you can take. So to come in and be like, I know how to sew, but I'm not good at it. It's like, you know what race you're coming into at this point. You know you're going to have to at least make at least 3 garments, I would say, throughout the whole series, if you're there. So, so mad. And her look, actually, you know, for not being great at sewing, I guess it was okay. She was sort of towards the bottom as well. But that being said, like, Brooklyn turned it the fuck out. She made that whole bodysuit. That's how you do Drag Race, kids. That's how you like get yourself in the top every week. So, Aaliyah, what do you think about the queens in sewing right now? I mean, we've talked about it before on here, but like, what do you think?
Well, I think you are right. I think as a queen going into the show like this, you should have a base level of knowing how to create a costume for yourself. I know no one's ever going to dress you better than you can yourself, because you know yourself better than anyone else. However, I also think that's part of the selection process too. I think they do pick queens that maybe aren't as experienced in that, because you want like a well-rounded verse of girls.
That's true.
I thought Soju not knowing how to make an outfit at all was kind of unacceptable. Even though she made something that fell apart on her, I still didn't think that was acceptable. And you know what? I know everyone gave Brooklyn Heights all these props and stuff because she looked so good, but I'm sorry to say, a cat suit is a cat suit. It's not that difficult to make. I used to charge $35 for one, so it's not like it's like, she did look polished and really great though, so credit to her. But I mean, I didn't think the outfit was that impressive.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, it's kind of easy. It's an easy way to go to look.
It's
like,
smart. I mean, she got the win, so obviously she did something right. But
yeah, like, I think it's just she looked the most together and cohesive with the challenge, which is probably why she won. But you're right about Soju. I was like, okay, we'll get to that at the lip sync though. Walter, what did you think of people not being able to sew and of just the runway looks? Did you have any favorites?
Well, I would actually ask Aaliyah something. When you hear these queens who come out and say, I don't know how to sew. I don't know how to sew. I've been doing drag for 6 years, 7 years, 5 years. I don't know how to sew. Doesn't that get expensive for these queens if somebody's making their stuff all the time?
No, because half of that stuff comes straight out of Goodwill. Let's be real. Let's keep it honest. But I'm just saying, like, it doesn't necessarily get expensive because, girl, I mean, look, me as a designer, I'm only a designer and a fashion designer legitimately because of drag. Because I started doing drag and was like, I can't wear things from 579. I can't be that girl. No one's going to give me $1 if they're wearing the same outfit I am on stage. So it's like, I forced myself into it. And so I think as a good queen, like, worth your weight in salt, you should have a base level. You should know how to at least dress yourself or put something together.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, the only thing that I had problem with Brooklyn Heights was it was kind of the same silhouette as when she walked in.
That's true.
And, you know, it was pants. It wasn't exactly the same, but it was pants and a top. And I thought, is this going to be his go-to? He's going to wear a onesie for the whole thing. And I found most of the runway to be just sort of forgettable.
Yeah.
For the most part, except the few train wrecks like Soju's. So I don't know. I'm hoping that what they've brought is superior to what they made.
Agreed. But that's the thing is, like, Michelle is the first one to get on someone for doing the same look all the time. So if we get another catsuit next week from Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure Michelle will be like, you look very polished and put together. It's the same look you gave us already.
She also clocked the catsuit anyway. She did clock it. She gave her the win, but she mentioned it, so she's not a fan.
Yeah, she's like, looks put together, but this is a catsuit, so...
It's kind of weird, even as being drag queens, like, you know, because there are some drag queens, like we've touched upon, who have other people design outfits for them, and that's great. But knowing that this show, it's 11 seasons, it has been on since 2009, the sewing challenge thing has been a part of the show's history ever since the first season. And Nina West is not some young 20-something-year-old headed person.
39.
She's 39. She's been doing this a minute. You've clearly watched the show. So I like Shangela after her first run said, I went out and took some sewing classes. She still couldn't quite sew. But the point is that like you can't come into this now 11 seasons in and go, I've been trying every year. By the way, I never learned how to sew. It's like, well, what have you been doing? It's like saying I've tried out for American Idol 11 times, but I never signed up for voice lessons. Like, what's going on?
We're goddamn ridiculous.
How come you don't have a drag queen that says, I don't know how to put on makeup?
Exactly. It's the same thing at this point, though. It's the same thing as saying that. Like, oh,
we had Derek Barry. No, I'm just
You back off. My
a
God.
little bit.
So I think
Okay,
Sorry, Derek. Sorry.
we love you, Derek. I met Derek in Vegas. He's a very lovely gentleman.
So sweet.
He's a very beautiful woman. So then we get to the tops and bottoms. I kind of agreed with what they were saying. I did like that they gave Vanjie some props for stepping up her pussy a little bit and creating that silhouette where she couldn't breathe. I was like, but you looked fantastic. So you've learned. She's one of those who learns, like Shangela, and is like, I can't do this anymore. And she even tried to warn Soju. So then we get our tops and bottoms, and I know, like, I think I posed this as a question to you guys, but like, do they just bring on one queen to be the first eliminated each time? It felt like that with the get-go, like with Soju's entrance and like the fact that she couldn't put together a garment, and then like the performance and the lip sync she gave. I was like, was she the sacrificial lamb? What do we think about that, Christopher?
Absolutely. Yeah. That was the pawn you sent out on the board and everything so that we can like get to the real players in the game. I mean, she seemed really like sweet, and I get that there was this initial setup that she was almost like another Kim Chi, but I mean, she's really not. I mean, Kim Chi has a level of like design talent that's out of this world, and this was just, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, she's wearing like a 7-year-old's karate gi.
Yeah.
It just didn't work. I mean, she seems, and that cyst story. I mean, Jesus.
poor
She's
girl.
like my grandma at a Thanksgiving party. She's just saying, it's like, by the way, I have a boil. I've been soaking it for 30 minutes. And it's like,
my goiter is acting up again.
Yeah. Like, nobody wants to hear about your damn cyst, except Ross Matthews, apparently. But, I mean,
So the best meme from last night, Club 90 cyst.
I missed that. There were a lot of puns too. By the way, did anybody notice that the judges, and I think this is great, we have an Oscar ceremony with no host, and now we have judge intros with no opening like pun. And I think they just said Ross Matthews, Michelle Visage. That I was like, thank you.
I feel like they did that because they were running long, because it's the first episode and they have so many queens, so much runway to do. They can't spare a minute. Like, as we get going and we get down to like, 8 queens, they're gonna have to be stretching for time at some point. So I think we'll get those intros again. By the way, I really liked Miley and her entrance and trying to be undercover and shit like that. But I thought she did a good job. So I kind of think you're right, Chris. I think there's like a sacrificial lamb quality to Soju. She was just there to be the first one cut. Walter, what do you think? Because you're our resident conspiracy theorist. So.
Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm the resident crank. Get it right. I'm the resident crank.
I'll say it mine.
Well, when it comes to the sacrificial lamb, who's going to go off first? They only know from those audition tapes that the girls send in.
That's true.
So somebody could send an incredible audition tape and then just totally face plant right out of the gate. I bet you they weren't expecting what's her tits to be in the bottom, the one that had the horrible dress, the red dress, the guy who's raised $2 million. Nina West. They weren't expecting Nina West to be in the bottom.
Oh, Nina, yeah.
But the real issue that I had was I thought Soju did a better job than the other queen in the lip sync. I thought Soju was staying. Yeah. Because she was performing the song. She was singing the words, and the other one was doing a calisthenics routine, which I find boring. Just flailing all over the stage and flipping and this and that. and Soju was actually trying to communicate things. So I was a little surprised by that.
I get that. I do think that just throwing yourself all over the stage for the sake of doing that, like, it can take away from the lip sync sometimes, because number one, you can't see their lips. This was my problem with last season's finale, when it was Cameron and who was the winner? Aquaria, just like running around the stage doing the lips, shaking their hair, where then Eureka was actually just standing there and lip syncing and actually like, oh, we can see what you're doing. So I agree with you there. There's a merit to that. I don't necessarily think Soju did it as well as a Eureka. I think she kind of just sat down and started like, I don't know. I
Can I just say that
she was telling a story, but maybe that was just me.
If the producers are watching, can I just say that the first episode should always be that every queen performs, because ultimately they end up going to bars. I want to know who performs well. I would like, they did that the last time on the All Stars, right? Remember we had said that, and then
yeah, we did it for All Stars.
And I was like, I wish every season would start off with like, show us what you got, bring out your best costume. What act do you do at a bar? I want to know. I would love to know.
Some of them don't have an act.
What?
Some of them don't have an act. Some of them are just an Instagram queen. I mean,
yeah, but like ultimately they're going to be getting bookings and stuff probably at a bar, or
and
I don't
they're
know.
Gonna have to
bring whatever it is that you
show.
do.
Yeah, so it would.
It should be a variety, a showcase of like, bring us who you are, do what you do on this stage right now. That would be awesome if they did that every season, because man, you can make it all the way to the end.
And would also make it, I think, a little tougher to eliminate too, because you'd be like, oh, well, this person does this really well, but can they keep up with the challenges? So we don't know.
I don't know.
That being said, okay, who is your horse in this game? I would say Brooklyn so far, just not just because of the win, but I think she's kind of like polished and put together. And I don't know why I'm liking Miss Sugar. So those are my top two. Russ, who do you think?
No top twos yet. I don't. I there's too many. I can't even pick one a favorite right now.
Okay, that's okay. We got plenty.
But
of
you
season
can
left.
go and vote for them at dragqueen.info right now.
you know, this is a RuPaul show, and there are this many plugs in an episode.
Right? Is there a candy bar you're selling too?
Yep.
Earlier.
What'd you say? Who's gay?
What? Yes, you're gay.
Are they made with real Girl Scouts?
I'm not gay. I just think penises are easier.
Yes, they are. I would agree with Russ. I think we're still so early into it. I think a lot of the things that we talked about today really kind of fall back into the fact that, A, no one's mentioned it. This is the first time that they've had 15 queens walk through that door, not 14.
That was a lot.
12.
Yeah.
It is a lot of girls to get through. So I don't think anyone's pulled ahead in the race, really, from my point of view, just yet.
Okay.
I kind of figured Soju would go home, though, fairly quickly. I'm hoping Nana West stays a lot longer. But there really isn't. There's not many girls that are, like, jumping out at me yet, like last season.
Are there any boys in boy version that you thought were cute? I kind of want to get into, like, who we might think is cute.
Oh, there's that one.
Oh, some trade. I like Scarlett.
Some trade.
I don't kai, so I don't. But there is this meme that's going around that's previous contestants as boys, like, mixed together, and then it shows you. So it was like Pearl and Tammy Brown. Pearl plus Tammy Brown equals Scarlet Envy, and it shows their photos, and it's freaking hilarious.
True.
And the other one was Kim Chi, and then like a reverse baseball cap, and then it shows Shoju. And it's like all the girls, like who their previous girls are. It's funny.
It's funny. I need to find that. Chris, do you have a top two at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you in terms of I like Brooklyn. I'm feeling what she's doing so far, based off of just the one episode. So I mean, who's to say? I was feeling Vanjie too. I mean, and you know, I was a person who was pretty annoyed by the constant Vanjie memes and mildly entertained, but mostly annoyed. However, I liked seeing, like you mentioned earlier, a queen who picked up on the game and saw what she did wrong and is obviously making corrections and has obviously come back to show she seems very focused.
Yeah.
And I like that. So those two, yes. I have a feeling they're going to keep Silky because she's television. What kind of television? She's television. And but yeah, so those are my two for right now. Nobody else has stood out yet. Although as far as trade goes, that queen from New Jersey, the one who like has a lot of looks and everything.
Ariel Versace.
Is that what? Yeah, I was feeling her.
Oh yeah, he was cute.
As a boy, he was cute. Yeah. So that's my opinion. I have Jasmine Masters, and I have nothing else left to say.
Nice. Garrett, do you have a top 2, or do you find somebody good looking out of drag, or in drag? That's okay.
I thought they were all like kind of cute, but nobody that I'd like, you know, really try that hard for. But I just feel like Silky, for some reason, I know she got a little annoying. I think she's fun. I think personality-wise, she was the only one that like really made me laugh. So I'm excited to see maybe more of the jokes coming out of her and just kind of the fun things that she says. So right now, just kind of seeing, no real favorites. I don't want to say yet. I don't know.
It is a little early. So
Obviously,
I
Kahana's a local here, and I got to know her, and I've seen her perform. She's really good. She does the drag brunch every weekend, 7 shows a weekend, and Coco Montrese is her mother. So I think, and you know, in the viewing party that she hosted last night, she was like, I can't believe I'm on the bottom. You know, she felt so bad. But also, you know, take a moment to talk to her, but just about like, you know, at least you got to perform and show people what you can do on stage, and that it was fun. And so I'm kind of rooting for her because I have seen what she does in real life, and it's always really fun and good. So we'll see.
That missing tooth drives me crazy, though.
Get a flipper.
Do you know the one? Yeah, she got that one missing tooth, and it just he's really attractive, and it's like, girl, get a dental implant.
Have Fifi donate hers to her. So.
Well, no, he has to win the $100,000 first, and then they all. That's what happens. The first thing.
Yeah, she comes back for All Stars and has dental work done.
Yeah, it's just it's teeth and lips. That's what they do. Walter, do we have a horse in the game yet?
The ones that have made an impression on me are Evie, Suga, and Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think I like Silky at the beginning, but if that shtick continues, it's going to get old really fast.
Agreed. Yeah, and I think we started to feel that going in, so maybe she'll pull back now, or maybe like the producers won't shoot her as much doing that, because it's like, okay, we get where your game is, doll. We love it, but ease up a bit. All right, well, it's still any woman's game, obviously, because it's the first frickin' week. I'm eager to see what these queens pull out. It'll be interesting to see how they do in their own element, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. So thanks for watching the RuCap at Drag Queen Database, kids. And until next week, bye!
Bye!